So, have you noticed that there are so many suits in the show nowadays? It's mind-boggling how we can somehow keep up with them all, and this was definitely a hard list to manage. And I have to ranking every single suit was not an easy job. So expect a lot of ties because what I did was I calculated basically how many suits there are in a particular wave. For example, like in the OG era between seasons one, there were only 4 suits. So I add my score of what I give to a certain suit, add them all up, and divide it by that number. In this case, it would be 4. Now, there is one exception to this. If all the suits are practically the same, just a different color, then I basically give them all the same score. So they would all get the same average score by that default. A big example of this is the elemental kimonos, which are literally the same design. The only difference is one is red, one is blue, one is white, and one is black. That's literally the only difference. That to me doesn't make it an individual suit. But so yeah, very complicated process that I had to do in this video. So also expect a lot of ties in the results. So some of them kind of tied as a result. But with all that out of the way, I am Luke the Ninjago, and here's my ranking of every single canon Ninjago suit. So yeah, no non-canon ones like the NRG suits. Told you there'd be a lot of ties on this list, as the very first 2 are tied for, well, last place. And those 2 suits are the DX suit, or Dragon Extreme, and the Adventure suits, otherwise known as the Season 11 base suits. The reason why the DX suits are on here is because, well, they're a little bit plain. I mean, I understand what they were going for. It was 2011 after all, but they just didn't age well. But neither did the Adventure suits, which have become known as the base suit, which I don't really understand why we need a base suit. I think I remember the answer was a lot of people were really bugged about how there wasn't a canonical explanation for how the ninja just randomly get new suits. I actually am one of those people who actually liked the ninja getting new suits. It added a lot more variety to the show, and now we just don't have that anymore because some whiny little fans just want an answer for everything. And that just annoys me, because I want these suits to be retired, because these suits aren't the best looking. And just constantly seeing them is just a pain in the ass. I mean, Lloyd's suit, in my opinion, Lloyd's Adventure suit, is the worst suit out of any suit in the entire history of the show. It is so ugly, it does not look like a ninja suit, and brown just does not suit him, even if it does match his eyebrow color. To me, those brown spots should have been gold. Just saying, to green and gold. It fits really well. But these 2 suits just did not age well for me. The original suits. Yeah, unfortunately for me, the older suits in Ninjago just did not age well compared to, well, future suits that have become more unique, if I say so myself. But I will never ever forget the original Gis. I just wish they had them for a much longer period of time. And did any of you notice that in Season 1 they kind of switched between the original Gi and the Dragon Extreme ones, or DX? They kind of just switched between them, so that kind of hurt the OG Gi's momentum, I guess. But anyways, the original Gi, again, a timeless classic. But again, it's rather plain looking compared to the rest of the suits. It is better looking than the DX or DX simply because it's just, well, it's more iconic, I guess. As for the Adventurer, it wasn't really a base. And I really don't like how the Adventurer suits, as I said before, are a base suit, because I feel like we don't need that. The original Gis, I will never ever forget, obviously. They're timeless. But because of their age and because they're kind of plain, that's where they are on this list. The ZX suits. Why am I putting all the iconic suits in the lower end? Oh my god, I am so evil for that. Oh man. But, anyways, EX suits. I mean, up until the adventure suits, they were like the longest tenured suits in the entire series. They've worn these for like 2 seasons. And, well, they're iconic in their own way. I mean, again, I think part of that is due to the longevity of how long these suits were worn. They were worn for pretty much 2 seasons, or a season and a half, because about halfway through season 2, as you all know, they kind of switched to the kimonos because of the Temple of Light scene. So, I like these suits. They're fine. Again, but like I said before, time waits for no man, and these suits just didn't age well in the grand scheme of all suits. Especially when there's like a lot of future ones down the line where they look very, very spectacular compared to these. So while I do respect the series for introducing some of the older suits that looks good, it's just they didn't really age well with me. The Techno Robes. It kind of has the same faults with the older suits, again, because they're plain looking. However, so far they've become a little bit more unique. Kai's, especially with just the fire, and I love the shades of color that they have, similar to that of the other suits previously mentioned. And, well, honestly, there's really isn't that much I can honestly say about these suits, honestly, because I'm essentially just retorting the same points again and again and again, which basically, I'm basically saying the old suits just didn't age well. I wonder if you guys, if you guys are over 18, play a drinking, or not over 18, over 21, play a drinking game where every time I said the suits didn't age well, take a shot. Or if you're under the age of 18, just take a drink of water or a drink of milk or something. Because you're gonna keep hearing that throughout the entirety of this video. The Hero Armor. The Hero Armor was given to the ninja by the months and geckos. And I guess it was for protection, I guess. I probably should have told the history and backstories behind these suits. Well, screw it. So, if I forgot to mention some of the backstories behind these suits, please forgive me. Sometimes I forget to add that in when I'm recording. But anyways, the Hero Armor, as I said, was given to the ninja by the months and geckos. And it's really just armor added onto their Season 11 base, which I don't know why, but for some reason it changes Lloyd's suit entirely. I don't really understand that. Whereas at least with the other ninja, it kinda kept the same. It was just armor placed on top of their base. Whereas Lloyd's, it just changed the entire suit as a whole, which that doesn't really make any sense. But I digress. This armor is a little weird, if you ask me, but, you know, I was actually considering not putting this armor into it since it's just, well, armor. But since a lot of people do classify them as a suit, I thought I might do so too. So, here you are. The Scuba Suits. These suits are the newest ones to come out of the newest installment of Ninjago, Seabound. These suits are, well, kind of, again, as the name says, scuba suits, because the ninja go underwater a lot in this season. And this season actually, not season, these suits actually mark the first time since, what was it? Since, like, the old ages in Ninjago, where only 4 of their respective suits were given to Ninja, as Kai and Cole did not get a scuba suit in the show. Now, in the sets, that was a different story, but I don't count the sets since, again, as you know, I'm not a set dude. I only go by what's in the show. So if it doesn't appear in the show, it doesn't exist to me. So, the only 4 ninja that received the scuba suit in the series were Jay, Lloyd, Nia, and Zane. So, yeah, a little piece of history for you for that. And, they looked good, but my biggest problem with the suits is, I like how their logo, their ninja logo is in the middle, which I really liked. However, there's a lot of portions that kind of cover it, and I don't know, it bothers me. Probably because I have OCD, probably because of my OCD, I'm just like, no, it should be like this way, no, it should be that way, like, don't cover it. But, yeah, these suits are definitely a good addition to the series, and these are the last suits that have garnered a average score of below a 7 out of 10. The DigiHonor suits. Yeah, I know, these 2 suits are very popular, and I know they're in the lower end of the list here. Shut up. I like them too, don't get me wrong, I like them. Their designs are really good, it's just that, again, some other suits are just better than these. The Digi suits, obviously those are the ones that are from Prime Empire, even though, for some reason, we never saw the ninja actually getting them. I will never ever understand why that was never given, but whatever. They look good. They looked really good. And I'm not counting the alter egos like Superstar Rockin' J, the Mohawk Lloyd, and the Blonde Kai. Those don't count. So, yeah, these suits look good. And they're alright. They're alright. And as for the honor robes, the only issue I have with these is that they only appeared in Day of the Departed and nowhere else, and it's kind of annoying when they only appear in like one installment and just don't appear again. So I can kind of see where the whole base suit idea came from, but I feel like 2 seasons is the max for any given suit. After that, it's just annoying at this point. But I really like these suits. Their colors were good, the designs were good, they kind of reflected back on old suits. And basically, I like them a lot. And I really wish they'd come back. I really wish something of that caliber would come back in the series, hopefully soon. The Stone Armor. These suits only appeared for 1 episode, even if that episode was one of the greatest Ninjago episodes ever produced. They still only appeared for 1 episode, and that's really the only reason why they're at this position. And they kind of all look the same, essentially, except for Zane's. That's kind of why the decimal average score is a decimal and not a whole number. So, if you want to know why it's a decimal, it's because Jay, Kai, Lloyd, and Cole's were basically the same, but Zane's was kind of different. And I guess that was kind of the calling sign for Zane to commit a sacrifice, because his was the only one that was different. But I digress. These suits look pretty cool. They look cool. Again, the only setback here is that they only appeared for one episode. Yet another tie, and this isn't going to be the last tie on this video. So today's tie, or this tie, is between the hunted suits and the elemental kimonos. I know, I'm going to get a lot of hate for putting the kimonos at a tie for 10th place. Hey, be grateful that they're not somewhere like 15th, so be grateful. And a lot of people wondering, aren't the hunted suits just ripped up versions of the SOG suits? Yeah, these were the other suits I was considering taking out of the equation, but again, I know a lot of people like these suits, and some people consider them different than the SOG suits, so I decided to count them anyway. And the hunted suits are, again, just ripped up versions of the SOG suits, so unfortunately they just lack originality. But that could be explained because of the whole Oni and Dragon trilogy being the whole one story. And it was essentially trying to look like shredded pieces of armor, I guess. Jay's looks a bit awkward though, considering with the shoulder pads and whatnot. With Kai, Zane's, and Cole's, they looked actually pretty good. But the weird thing is that Lloyd and Nia have ripped up versions, which that I don't know how to explain. Like, at least with the OG for Ninja, you can explain why their suits are ripped up, but you can't really explain Lloyd and Nia, so there's a little bit of explanation to be explaining there. As for the elemental kimonos, they're cool. I know they're a super popular suit, but one thing that always got me, and again, this is part of my OCD, is the leg buckles. I really think the leg buckles should have been removed. Like, body buckles, like the chest buckle, lower body buckle, stomach buckle, whatever you want to call it, those are fine. But, like, the leg buckles, I don't know. It's an OCD thing. I just feel like they need to be removed. If those were removed, I think it would actually be a lot better of a suit. And I think another reason why people like these suits is because of the scene they debuted in, the famous Island of Darkness scene, or Temple of Light scene, I should say. Sorry. So yeah, they debuted in such a fantastic way. I will admit that. However, their designs, again, they're pretty good. They're in the upper half of this list, which is good, because we officially entered the top 10, even if 10th is a tie. But again, I prefer some other suits. The island suits. These suits are an interesting bunch. They kind of have this same thing with like the legacy suits and the honor suits, where they only appeared for like a short period of time. In this case, only 4 episodes. But they actually look good nonetheless. The colors are great, the designs are great. They kind of call back to the fusion suits. It's kind of like a mix between the fusion and the Techno Robes, because there is the iconic half mask. And thank God that Tommy Andreasen listened to I don't know if you noticed, but I feel like he's secretly listening to me and saying hashtag bring back the half mask. And well, they brought him back in the island, technically. Hey, that counts, so... But, yeah, these designs are pretty cool, and they felt unique, and they feel united. That's, to me, is what makes a good ninja suit, is that it feels individual, but it also feels united at the same time, where it feels like they are one, they are a team. Because putting the same design on, you know, a certain suit kind of works, but it lacks the individuality. Whereas, you know, I feel like these new suits are trying to be like the best of both worlds, or they're trying to be individual, but they're trying to be the same at the same time, which is a really good component if you ask me. The legacy suits. These suits are actually really nice looking. I wish they appeared for a longer amounts of time, and I really like this dragon design that I think Kai and Lloyd suits Kai, Lloyd, and Cole suits had, where they had the dragon spiraling around them, where if Kai was towards the front, whereas Lloyd it was the back, and Cole it was to the side. I wonder if you noticed that. I like Cole's little chest area, where the shirt is. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but yeah. Jay's also looks really good. I also like Jay's a lot. Jay's legacy suit looks just amazing on him. Kai's looks amazing as well. I really like Kai's legacy as well. I think it's my second favorite Kai suit. I think my first favorite is the Fusion. But these suits are very good. I wish they appeared for much longer, as I said, but for the time they appeared in, they looked really good, and it really did bring in the vibe of the legacy, you know, because this was the 10th season of Ninjago. This was the 10th season, and if I'm going to be honest, that 10th season kind of had some sort of finality to it. So if these were the final suits of the series, I would be absolutely very happy, because we got a massive downgrade with the Season 11 base suits. It was a massive downgrade. Another tie. This time it's between the SOG suits and the Air Jitsu suits. SOG suits were designed after the Lego Ninjago movie because, again, Season 8 had a lot of different choices and different styles to base the movie upon, and this was obviously one of them. You could definitely see the Ninjago movie suits in these new SOG suits, and I actually think they look better than the movie suits, because the movie suits, I don't know, they just felt a little out of place, whereas the SOG suits, they feel united, but yet different at the same time. They feel united, but also different. And I think it's really cool. I love their designs, like the diamonds on Lloyd, the triangles on Zane, the Wi-Fi logo on Jay's. I don't know. I just think it's really awesome how they incorporated those little things. And I also love their mask as well. As for the Air Jitsu suits, they kind of have that black in color as well. I feel like they incorporate the black as to garner in the true legend of the ninja, now of the actual ninja. But I actually heard that sometimes the ninja actually wore blue, like a really dark blue. But whatever the case may be, I feel like it's a good way to honor the actual legend of the ninja by incorporating black instead of just like their color. But they did black and with their color, which I think was pretty cool. The only issue with the Air Jitsu suits is Nia doesn't have one, because, or well, she does, but she only wears it for one episode. Which I think is kind of weird how they did it, even though it only appeared in one episode. I think it's weird that way. But I think these look really nice, and they both have really good contrasting styles to it. And I just really can't pick. I really can't choose between these two. The Fusion suits. Now, believe it or not, I actually hated these suits at one point. I disliked them for a time because they were just so extravagant. They were just so overcomplicated for pretty much no reason. But after thinking about it for a couple of years after Hands of Time, starting from, I don't know, maybe last year, I actually start to like these suits. And now I really like them. I like them for the reason that I originally disliked them. for them being extravagant and stuff. It made them individual, and I really like that. And these suits, I think, other than maybe the island suits, are by far the most complicated designs out of all the ninja suits that have ever been made. Like, you can't even draw this that well. Even like talented Ninjago artists in the community would have trouble with these. That's how well designed they were. And even though the Season 7 animation actually, you would think it actually not work to their advantage, it actually did work to its advantage, because especially with Kai's, in certain scenes, Kai's suit looks blood red, and that's my favorite type of red, when it looks like actual blood. I know. And the green, especially, is really, for Lloyd, is really, really good, especially because I love dark green, and even the light green that they used was actually a good, like, contrast to the, dark green. So that was a really good option. And the same thing with Jay's suit. They went with a dark blue and a light blue, and I thought that was a good thing. Cole's is a little weak, because it's just a bunch of rope. It looks like just a bunch of rope added onto a suit. And Nia's is kind of okay, because it kind of incorporates her 3 colors. Teal, or light blue, maroon, really dark red, and gray. And I really want those suits to incorporate all of her into it, not just the gray and the light blue, or the maroon and the light blue. I want them all, because those are all technically her colors. I don't think she should be relegated to just one color. That's just what I think, personally. The Deep Stone Armor. Now, I love these suits. These, again, were the first out of 2 suits, along with the Erechinsu suits, to incorporate black along with their colors, along with their main colors. And I really like the whole medallion looking thing in their chest. And the best thing about it is, it actually served a purpose. I really don't like it when they have all these decals in there, and like, in the jungle suits, they have like knives and shurikens, but they don't serve a good use. They're just there for show. But in actually, the Deep Stone Armor little medallion thing in their chest actually serves a purpose, as it prevents them from actually getting possessed. And while the armor was not actually put on from the very first episode, it was put on around halfway through the season, to where they don't get possessed, as I said before. And I really like these suits. The design just feels so complete, and it feels united. It feels really good. It just looks amazing. Now, this got 3rd place on my list, but the top 2, have tied for 1st place. And tied for my numero uno picks of my favorite Ninjago suits, ironically, they both come from the very same season, Season 4, Tournament of Elements. And these 2 suits are the sleeveless tournament suits from the first half of the season, and for the second half of the season, the jungle suits, or Zuken suits. Now, I just love these suits to death. Even though Season 4 is not my favorite season, one thing they definitely did right was the suits. I mean, the colors were just perfect. I love the sleeveless tournament suits just because it makes them look very strong, and I really liked how they had like all their symbols from their shoulder to their chest. And again, the colors are just so great, especially with the black gloves as a good cherry on top. As for the jungle suits, even though Zayd's kind of looks like, I don't know if this is the right word, an inverted version of that, where it's just lost all its color. Like, the knees are brown, but in Zayn's knees they're white. That's because of his new titanium form. But these suits they just stand out to me. They're like, to me. Like, they're just so good, and I can't express to you how damn good these suits are. But that's it. That's a very long countdown list. I'm sorry that this video extended potentially over 30 minutes. So this is easily, by far, the longest ranking that I've ever had to make. Hopefully, future rankings won't even come close to this length, even though I do have one that might get close to this. But anyways, what are you guys' favorite Ninjago suits? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see you folks in the next video. Bye bye!